Hello, this is Steve Shea. I wanted to give you a little video help on the timeline infographic discussion. There's two parts of this discussion. One of them is a couple of paragraphs telling me and your fellow classmates where you are on the project. Has your theme stayed the same, and all those good sorts of stuff. But the Canva side of things, where you are going to use an online free app, essentially, to create your infographic, is what I want to work on here a little bit. This skill is particularly important as you move through your academic and professional career, and being able to present clear information to the folks that you are trying to bridge information with, who don't know everything that you know. This is the Canva homepage. There might be a little bit of a sign up. They don't want an email address to you. Using a dummy email address is perfectly fine there, that you have all your junk mail thrown into. The website is canva.com, C-A-N-V-A.com. Now at the top here, you'll notice what will you design. Canva knows me well enough to know that I like infographics. If you don't have an infographic show up, go ahead and move over here to More, and you can see that there's all kinds of different projects that they have templates for, and so it's really kind of wonderful that way. But Canva knows that I like infographics, and so I'll just click on that. Excuse me. When you get your initial project, it will be a blank sheet. You'll see all these templates over here, and we'll get to that in a second. But there's a couple of things that I absolutely need on this assignment, a couple of different elements. And the first element is simply the idea of a timeline. So I'm going to go under lines and shapes here, and I'm going to take a look at all the lines and shapes. These are lines and shapes that are customizable to me in terms of size. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take one and throw it over here, and I'm going to adjust the sides to make it into a line. And you know what those toads have done? They've made it so that this doesn't work because it doesn't thin out enough. So let's go ahead and do something different. What can I do with this? This allows me to create kind of a header and a bottom. That's kind of nice, and I can squeeze it a little bit and maybe even move it over to the side if I wanted to create my timeline. That is an option. I'm also wondering too if, see, I can change the color over here. If I want to make it pink or something like that, I can change the position so that it aligns, right? I can increase the transparency, decrease the transparency. All those sorts of things are all available. There might be something else over here that you can use. I'll have you look at the templates here in just a second. The second thing that you want is you want some type of title. And so there's all kinds of wonderful titles here. Oops, I guess I got two of them. And the important thing about the title is really that you are trying to bring your topic and theme together to make an assertion. A title such as, Ancient War, or, I don't know, environment. That doesn't do much. We want it to be an assertion so that the individual, as they are going through your infographic, that they can see the progression of the events that you have charted as being significant for your topic and theme, and to bring together the readings that you have done through this class. Once you have this in place, then of course what you're going to do is you're going to create dates here, right, that are going to go in order. Now, some of you are going to have dates that are going to be very specific. We know exactly when the date occurs, but there might be some of things that have an era to them. For example, a 10-year period or something like that, where it's more of a trend. And you'll represent that by creating just a little bit thicker line that moves through time on the page. Okay. Now, this is the basics, right? And all of you can kind of create things in here. But let's go ahead and look back at the templates. The templates for the infographics are here, and I think that all of you are creative enough that you will want to create, that you will want something that is matched particularly to your idea. So what you might do is at the bottom of the page here, you can see Add Page. You can just add an infographic, and this one kind of appeals to me, so there we go. These are all editable, so you can take this section, Control-C it, and move it into the top page, and that can take the place of your title if you like that font a little bit better. We can also erase that. There is no real timeline here, so I'm going to look. Oh, this is interesting. What do we got here? I'm going to add a page, and I'm going to throw this in here. And maybe what I'll do is I'll take a look at this section here, and you can highlight, right, and drag. Control-C it. We'll take it up to the top page. Control-V, move it around, get rid of what we don't want. Whoopsie-doo. Control-Z. Get rid of what we don't want, right? Modify what we do want. I don't know, can I change that number? I don't think I can change that number in there. So we'll Control-Z to take it back to where it was. Oh, there we go. So we won't be able to do this quite, but we can definitely delete those numbers and we can create something different. Oh, look at that, it highlights. Ooh, that's fancy schmancy stuff. This, of course, won't come into play at all because you'll be basically inserting a static copy into the documents. Okay, but there we go. We got a timeline here that we can add some things. I believe that we can extend this timeline down. We can Control-C some of these lines, and then we can insert them in other places. Oh, look at that, right? And that's how you kind of build your timeline. For the text, of course, you can insert text, or you can go back to one of these. I do not recommend that you use script writing on these. It's hard to read, and particularly sometimes in the transition to PDFs, it ends up not showing up very well. So the simple and clear type of fonts are probably what you will want to favor as well. Okay. Let's see, where are we going here? Let's see, we've got our templates here, and we can go back to the scrapbooks. Okay. So we got the title under control. We got the dates and what I'm looking for on the timeline under control with either specific dates or eras. And then we need to talk a little bit about graphics. When we are working with history, it's important that we avoid stereotypes of individuals. And on this topic, for this project, because you're working with Native Americans with Unworthy Republic, I want to make sure that that you are aware that you are presenting to a broad audience. This isn't your notes, but rather it's going to have a public face to it. So some of the things with Native Americans that I would recommend is I would recommend avoiding red, white, and blue. The Cherokee removal is not a period for celebration of the greatness of America and manifest destiny. We would be replicating the type of bias that led to the removal of Native Americans from their treaty land that they had legal access to, that they had legal ownership of. The second thing is, particularly in dealing with the Cherokees, teepees are inappropriate. And the reason why teepees are inappropriate is the Cherokee didn't live in teepees. The Cherokees, by the time we get to the early 1800s, they are building colonial-style plantation homes. They had slaves. They raised cotton. All of these points come out in Unworthy Republic. So be careful of stereotyping here, right? This is fraught. And the other thing, of course, is that if you have a comparison with, Jim Crow laws and so forth, and you're dealing with the African American community, or you're dealing with the Latino community, or even if you're dealing with poor whites, make sure that you are presenting things in a way that does not repeat the type of degradation that occurred in the past. This site has some graphics and so forth, but I want to show you another site that is just wonderful. This is called the Noun Project. And here it is, thenounproject.com. It also requires a, come on here, a login. Let's see if it lets me in or not. But these icons are really wonderful. So let's say we wanted to look up an icon of a wagon. Okay. You press the search, and then you get all these nice little icons. Noun Project is what OSU uses. If you go to the OSU website and you see all the little decorative icons, a lot of them are taken from Noun Project, and then I assume that OSU purchases the license to them. But we don't have to purchase the license. This is educational purposes only. Once you choose a wagon, I'm going to choose this one for no particular reason, then you can get the wagon, download it in a basic download, and then you can continue. You can save it as PNG, and then we can go back to Canva, excuse me, here, and what we can do is we can take that and we can put it, it disappeared on me. What happened? Hold on. And we'll go with recents. It disappeared. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go back to Noun Project and we'll do it again. And here we go, and we will open it. Right. Okay, so we got it. It's in downloads. Noun Wagon. There we go. Now we go to our Canva page, and we go to our Finder, and we put in the old Noun Wagon. There we go. Now we're cooking. Okay, and now we have a graphic that once again is intended to give your paper just a little bit of a spark. When you are using things from Canva, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't apply. Televisions don't apply in our era. Dollar signs sometimes apply, but not always. Documents, trucks, no automobiles, at least automobiles that look like that. Okay, that might be a graphic that you can use. Modern pictures, nope. And you can see this is kind of a background for the insertion of a photograph and so forth. Okay, I think I've hammered that enough. We want to make sure that we stay kind of on target with the era that we are dealing with. So all of your projects have to have some kind of icon in the background, and the Noun Project does that extremely well. If you are using one of these pre-configured ones, take off all identifying information. Also, the backgrounds that you use. After all, Canva offers backgrounds, and if we go over here to backgrounds, you can see that there are plenty of backgrounds that we can use. You don't want anything that overwhelms the text. So for instance, like this one is lovely, but man, trying to read over that is really, really tough. You can go, and we'll Control-Z that to take it back. For background colors, you can use this palette up here that gives you something a little more solid. And then, of course, within these, you can set up backgrounds. Let's see, so that's the print. Document colors, let's try that. Okay, that did that. Control-Z. I'm looking for the background here, and I wonder if I can use that and do white. No. I'm not sure how I can do that. I do know that the effects are available. Hey, I have to leave something for you all to figure out here. Effects, style, shape. Well, you can change the shape. That's wonderful. Position. there is something that tells me that you can change the background color. If all of this fails, then what I would do is I would get an element like this, insert it. Let's see, I don't like the brown. I'm going to make it kind of a cream color. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it behind the startup costs, expand it out a little bit, shrink it up a little bit. Ta-da, we have a background. Okay? All right. Once again, just kind of fiddling around with Canva is useful. There are lots of kind of YouTube YouTube videos for Canva to show you kind of how to do stuff. I've just given you the basics and tried to give you a little bit of what I'm looking for on the project. And the primary thing at this point is making sure that you have between 10 and 15 dates that fit within our era. For the vast majority of them, I understand that you might need to reach forward a little bit and you might need to reach back a little bit for context, particularly with Unworthy Republic. But that you are trying to have a theme that you are operating on that covers both your monograph and Unworthy Republic that you can put an assertive title on. All right? All right. Any questions, please ask me in the inbox, and I'm happy to address those. Well, until we meet next time, see you later.